Are you filming?
No.
Oh, good.
You gotta get the outtakes in, innit? You know, I mean, I gotta think of the outtakes and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, documenting you.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is all about Gary and what happened back then.
So, going on to some more pictures. Once the car was stripped down, we sprayed it
Yeah.
with PVA, polyvinyl alcohol.
Was that hard to get hold of back then?
No, it's dead easy in the fiberglassing business. It's a release.
Oh, that's what they were using for the releasing aid.
It's part of the releasing agents. So you can see the car here with all the stuff stripped off it.
Oh yeah. The shadow line. Oh yeah. Is that we got? Yeah, and you got the. You can see it on sprayed on there.
That's all sprayed on.
It's got all the releasing agent on it.
There's a few pictures of it, more or less. That's before it was sprayed on.
Oh yeah, you can see the difference, all nice and shiny and looking clean. And then you can see that you can just work out the dark spots on it. You can see.
It's like just like a blue fluid.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the better photo. You can see it on there. It looks like it's got a guide coat on it.
Yeah. And then it was waxed over the top. So you wax the car first.
Yeah.
Spray the polyvinyl, let that dry, wax the polyvinyl. So you've got 3 barriers.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Because what, you had it for what, 3 days?
We had it for 2 days, really.
Just 2 days?
Yeah. We had it Saturday morning, and we took it back Monday morning. So it was a bit of a rush.
Well, considering, I mean, how long did that PVA stuff and all take to go off?
Only sort of 25 minutes.
Oh, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it goes off pretty quick. And we did have it quite warm. We warmed the area up.
Yeah.
So this picture, there's 3 pictures of the side here. This picture is just after us putting the gel coat on.
And as you can just see, work out that he's putting fiberglass over the top of the gel coat.
Yeah. And what we did was we built a flange.
Yeah.
Along there and along there. So when we gelled up underneath the flange. And then so that's the gel part of it. That's the actual fiberglass going on top of the gel coat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can see it, the resin going on it now, isn't it?
And then the third one is side is done.
So the side is done, and then preparing with the gel coat.
So you can see where the flange is.
Yeah.
There's a flange on either side.
Yeah, so obviously you were thinking.
Mould up to that. Then.
Yeah, you were thinking of actually for the mould afterwards, after you've taken it all apart as well.
Yeah. So that's
cool. I was thinking went into it really. It's not like you just slap a load of fiberglass on a car, was it? Not quite, he says.
That's another one before we started it.
Yeah.
Just with the PVA on it.
Yeah, pretty.
And then there's a series of, well, what can I say? Fully glassed.
Fully glassed. Yeah. And there you are. And that one guy on that side, he's the guy from that other factory.
Plantainers.
Yeah.
And a guy in the middle. Oh, that's the 2 of them.
Oh, that's the 2 of them.
That's the 2 of them that come from Plantainers with Daryl.
With Daryl, yeah. Yeah, tidy. So that they gotta be.
So that's just 3 Daryl.
So how old do you reckon they are now? In their 50s?
I would say so.
Because how old are you now, yeah?
63.
Yeah, because how old was you when you done it?
63 or 85. I'd have been 27, maybe nearly 28.
Ultra,
Yeah, 27.
The entrepreneurial in you was coming out, huh? So
Yeah, so that's me with the lads that did it.
the 4 of you. Well, 5 of you, isn't it? And the guy in the red, he's the one who had the unit next to you, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, tidy. I have to take some I'll take some up close photographs and see if I can slot them in there, and be good to have. Yeah, it's tidy. And we was talking about why you didn't put so much wood in here, because like you said, we
wouldn't have been able to release it off the body.
No.
And that would have been a total, and that would have been fully wrecked.
Yeah.
Paint off and everything. So we had to make it as flexible as we could, as lightweight as we could. And then the two...
And then what happened?
Two famous photographs. Me and Daryl admiring our work.
Yeah.
And it was all done for a bet. Well, it wasn't all done for a bet. We had a bet. Daryl bet me that I couldn't take it to pieces. And I bet Daryl that he couldn't fiberglass it.
Yeah.
And the debt was a £5.
And there's the £5.
And there's the £5. So nobody got it.
No.
We just put it in and had a drink that night.
Yeah, tidy. I think we went to the pub, was it?
It was in Blackpool, actually. That's another story.
What do you do when you turn it off?
This is the best story.
So once you got that fiberglass on it, and like we was just saying then about he's only got the one piece of wood on it, and like people already know about the body is not correct, it's slightly off. And why is that slightly off?
Because what happened, because we did it in such a rush, the whole front end from there to the front did that, which brought the windscreen pillar down.
Right.
Because this wood that we put here wasn't solid enough to hold them at the level they should be at.
Yeah. So like the whole front of the car sagged in.
The whole front of the car sagged, which Paul managed to get back. But it depended on how thick the cars were laminated as to whether they would sag at the front. But because there was a steel framework around there,
Yeah.
it lifted it back up anyway, because you sat it on it and then pushed the front down.
Yeah.
So when that couldn't drop, the front had to.
Right.
And the windscreen pillars, because what we've done, as you can see on that, we've actually laminated over the windscreen pillars onto the glass,
Yeah.
because we couldn't take the windscreen out.
So have you put steel in there?
No,
No. So that's just bare onto the...
that's just bare onto there. And because we've made it so wide, Paul was able to return it like that,
Yeah.
to give us a channel really on the inside,
Yeah.
in which to run the box section.
Ah, right. Tidy.
So there you go, yeah.
Good times. It's just hard to remember all the stuff from back then, I suppose.
Well, if I ask you, what did you do 35 years ago, can you remember?
Probably still shitting in my data.
Well, I can't say anything.
I certainly weren't copying for the hypercars, that's for sure.
I mean, there are certain things that I can't forget.
Yeah. Stuff stays with you, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's certain stuff that I can't forget. And there's certain stuff that at the time it was immaterial.
Mm.
It wasn't especially about this.
Yeah. It was, I suppose it was all about making money back then, wasn't it?
It was, well, we were trying to. You see, the thing is, what spoilt it for me, Peter Jackson had money.
Yeah.
Daryl had money. I didn't. So I was protecting it from my side.
Yeah.
To try and get the money. They were able to do work and do stuff
Because they had the money to do
because they
it.
had the money to do it.
Yeah.
And that was always the difference. I never had anything.
So it's almost that they ran off with your idea, really.
Well, everybody ran off with my ideas at the end of the day. Anybody who's probably ever built a Countach as a company probably ripped me off with one fire and another, because if they didn't get the body shell directly from Venom, they got one off somebody else who probably got it from Venom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And then, like you say, it was a big race back then. So it'd only take a couple of people to band some money together to get a body, and
but
then
nobody wanted to do that.
what's that?
Nobody wanted to do it.
No, I mean like a customer.
Oh, well, the first customer Venom had was quite a wealthy man. And he gave us some money he bought the windscreen that I broke
All right.
and all stuff like that. And he was a very generous man, but he wanted to see results
Yeah. Right.
from his investment.
Mm.
And
Is that like the kind of the guy that you partnered up with Venom to begin with, is it?
no, there was, I'd have to start from the very beginning, which is another ball game. So we'll do that in a minute.
All right.
How it came about, why I had this, why I did that, why
Yeah.
they did this. It's all. How long have you got? Indefinitely.
I got all day. It's on my phone.
Right, this is how the story goes. Back in about 1982,
Yeah,
they released a film called Cannonball Run,
that's right.
and it was a black Countach. Well, the demand for them and the posters on the bedroom walls, all of a sudden, like, just
Exploded.
shot through the roof. And then again in 83 or 84, they released Cannonball Run 2, which was the red Lamborghini
Yeah.
covered in whitewash. Have you seen it?
Yes.
You've seen that?
And I know who's got that car.
Right. Well, it was a white Lamborghini with whitewash on it.
Yeah.
They drove, two birds drove it along, and
That's right. Yeah.
they pulled up onto this piece of wasteland, and these two lads with high pressure hoses came and washed it all away, and it was red underneath. So they weren't chasing a white Lamborghini, they were chasing a... So this again encouraged people and got people excited about the car,
Yeah.
because it wasn't as a... When it first came out in 71,
Which was the
early-
LP400, isn't
the
it?
LP 400, it wasn't as exotic. It was a bit plain,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. And as soon as it was Walter Wolf, he had two of the vehicles. He had two LP 400s, and Walter Wolf commissioned Lamborghini to make him a bigger engine, which they did. And he also commissioned Lamborghini to put these flared wheel arches on it
Yeah.
and put bigger wheels and tyres on, which they did. So when you look at probably a 1979 Countach,
Yeah.
it's got black plastic wheel arches on it.
That's right. Yeah, red. Yeah, I've seen red with the black.
There's a red car with black.
That's right.
And there's also
the wheels are different as well.
Yeah,
aren't
the
they?
wheels are different. There's also a blue car with Walter Wolf badges on it.
Right.
With flared arches. All they were doing was putting the arches on, but they weren't colour coding them.
Ah, right.
So anyway, that's where the first Countach with the wheel arches came from.
It started to look sexy, then.
Yeah, it started to look a lot better. So in its infancy, from 71 onwards, yes, it was a spectacular car, but it wasn't, wow, drop dead gorgeous. But it then became it.
Yeah.
And anyway, to cut a long story short, in probably 83, I wanted one. And I looked in the magazines, and the only thing that was available at the time was a panache.
Yeah.
Paul Lawrenson had made this panache, and you've seen the pictures of them.
Yeah.
That was probably
the
closest thing to it. But after Paul had done that, he did another one, which ended up called Kingfisher Mouldings.
Yeah, that's right.
So there was two on the market that were lookalikes. And that's all they were. They were lookalikes. They weren't replicas, they were lookalikes.
Yeah.
And I went and bought a Kingfisher moulding one. This is when I found out the chassis didn't work. Anyway, that's a different kettle of fish. So I went and I bought one, and I was working at social services at the time.
Yeah.
In Eccles. And the guy, the caretaker of all the building, had a big workshop, which he used to let me use. So I built this car as far as I could. And then I came up with this suspension problem. So with that, I was pissed off. I was really...
I bet you was, right?
You know, we'd done a load of work to it, but that's how it ended up. So after that...
so you're not, at this point, you're not actually a company at the moment.
No,
just someone messing about with the cars. Like.
Yeah. So, probably early 1984, I hear it on the grapevine that Paul's done another one.
Yeah.
Paul Lawrenson. So I went over to Darwin to see it, and it was close.
Is this the Countach, is it?
No, the Countess was Kingfisher Mouldings.
Right.
This was close. This was close. And he was dead smirky, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, right. And I came away a bit sort of deflated with it.
Yeah.
And
because obviously you've gone out, you bought this Kingfisher moulding one.
Shit.
And then he turns up with this better looking one, and you think,
honestly, got that look super.
Fuck, I just spent half my life savings on a fucking.
Anyway, I thought to myself, the only way you're going to better it is to have a go yourself and see if you can make one.
Yeah.
So with that, I hired a place in Century Mill.
Right, we managed to get into the car.
Buzzing.
We're in, and we're going to go to where the original copying of the car took place, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can actually get into there, because they didn't like anybody going around it,
they're a bit strange, really. They don't like showing people what they've got under there, because it's an old, damp, dingy mill.
And they got something in there probably they're trying to hide. So
you never know.
You never know. So we'll pick you up when we get over to the mill anyway, alright? Right, we're here, and I'm going to pull in here now. I don't know if they're going to let us film in there, but I'm going to try my best. I got a nice story I can come up to try and get us into the place, but we're here. Here's the mill. This is where it was actually done. So we might be able to get inside here and this is where the deed was done, huh?
This is where it is.
This is where it was. And not much has changed, you said?
No, it's virtually identical.
Right, so I'm going to have to turn you off a minute and see if I can find somebody. Alright, lovely, cheers. Alright, thanks. Yeah? Well, the nice gentleman that owns the place, he's let me in, and Gary's too frail to get out the car, love him. So I'm here left to show you everything, but you can see the beams, and there's the beams. These are blocked up now. The owner was saying that you can't, obviously these are locked up, there's stuff in there that we can't show. So it has changed quite a bit here, but as you can see from the posts are still here. And I think if I can get through to one of these, he said that this one here, this photograph here, is in there and has all been blocked up. And what else we got? This one here is behind that car, right behind that van there. That's that picture, and that's where that would be. So of course Gary came in here with his car, and yeah, really good with the posts. And the guy recognised the wall and stuff, and he said is behind these all bricked up now, so it all looks totally different. So it's good. What we got? This one, he was saying this one here is in there. So this photograph here with Gary is inside there, which is crazy. So I'm here back in 1985. This is the place, and now all you guys have got to see it. All right, it's not quite what it was back in '85, but here we are. It's incredible. So I can't film anymore. That's it basically. I only got a short couple of minutes in here, but it's crazy, absolutely crazy to be here, and I'm so glad for Gary to be a part of his legacy. It's mind-blowing. I got goose pimples being in here. So yeah, I'm really crazy. So I go back to Gary, who's in the car now, and we'll see you there. So I hope you enjoyed coming back to where it was. And we got to touch a pole, haven't we? Yeah, let's touch a pole. Touch a pole. We've been here. So we'll see you back at the car. We're back in the car now. And what's it feel like being back here, Gary?
It's very, very strange.
Yeah.
The place has changed because they bricked up walls and knocked down walls and all that, but it's still the mill from the back where we used to go down the slope. It's exactly the same. It's no different whatsoever.
Yeah.
We drove the Countach down that slope there.
And we're parked right next to the big chimney stack here.
So,
does it
memories.
Bring back good memories?
It brings back good memories. I mean, I'd never change what I did.
Yeah.
Or what we did, should I say.
And I know you couldn't get out the car to go down there, and I shown in the video that I just made that everybody's just seen. And what did you think of that?
I think the video is superb. As I say, just actually pinpointing definite places is hard because it's all been bricked up.
Yeah, it's a shame it's all bricked up, really.
It's different.
Yeah.
But then again, it's a working mill that people rent out.
That's right. Yeah, people are renting them out. People are renting them little sections out, so they got their stuff in there that they don't want to be filmed, which is, I completely understand that. But we got there, we've shown you the poles in there, and we've got the touch a pole, and sharing the moment here with Gary is it's crazy, mind blowing.
Done a video of going down the slope?
Have I?
I don't know, have you?
No, but I got a photograph. The owner was quite thing about while I was filming, so we're quite limited what we can film, and we're quite lucky. We just caught him before he was going, so he let us in nice enough to show us what we could actually show you guys, which is it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We're out there, we're doing it for you guys. We're doing it. We're showing you back in 1985.
In the olden days.
Right, well, we're gonna make our way back now, and I'm gonna talk to you soon. Right then, let's make our way back out. And there's the big chimney.
It's a bit rough and ready around here, mate.
Well, it's more like a recycling plant around, you know.
I mean, an old tailors have the skips here.
Oh.
Keep the skips here.
Didn't look like this back in the day, though, did it?
Not with the skips, no.
So yeah, this is us now. We're leaving a good old mill.
It's not changed, apart from internally when they've blocked up walls, knocked down walls,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Other than that, it's virtually the same. Still a lot of crap about. Well, I'm going to take you in a bit. I had a place in there, and we got lots of lengths of round bar and square bar,
Yeah, right,
and everything. And we started what Alison's dad did for me was he got the outline of a Countach,
Yeah.
and he made it full size, and we had it on the wall. It was just a bare outline.
Yeah.
Nothing on the sides, just the... And we
profile.
copied that off a Airfix model, because in the Airfix kit there was a side view of
That's
it,
right.
of a line diagram.
Yeah, you get the side, the front, and the rear, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. And sometimes the 3/4.
Yeah. Or a top, like a bird's eye view.
Yeah, correct. So I got this place in Century Mill, Farmworth. Alison's dad made this full-size drawing of the silhouette of it, if you like, the silhouette of it. And I was into a bit of welding and stuff like that. So we started to trace out the actual overall shape.
Yeah.
So basically what we had was 2 runs, which were the shape of the car,
Yeah.
welded across. And then we started adding bits on the side, like for the wings and the wheel arches and that. And a mate of mine at the time, who was a plasterer,
Yeah.
he came up and he started plastering the shape.
Oh.
And we got a quarter of it done, and it looked reasonable. So it was like the front quarter.
Yeah.
So it was the wing, the headlight panels, and it looked all right, but it's still, anyway, I put an advert in the paper about Countach, that we were going to sell Venom cars, Countach, da-da-da-da-da. And who rings me? But Peter Jackson. That's how he found out. He said, well, what you up to, like? So I said, well, I'm making the shape. He said, well, I can help you there. So I said, how's that? He says, a mate of mine has got a 5000S, had a white 5000S. He had a company called Sound,
Yeah.
who did radios,
All right.
you know, stereo,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that sort of shit. And he says he might let us take some measurements off it. So with that, I get introduced to Leon, his name was,
Right.
Peter Jackson's mate Leon. And he said, yeah, just do whatever you want. Now, apparently, the engine was out of it. And what he used to do is he used to wheel it out in the morning, put it in front of his shop. It was
Yeah.
an advertisement for his shop.
Right.
And put
Oh, thank you very much.
posts around it with,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? And like, you can come and look at it, but you can't touch it. And it was, as I say, it was a white 5000S. So Pete and I started going up, and we started doing templates Start at the front and then come back an inch, then another inch,
Yeah.
and then another inch, and then another inch.
Oh, look at that.
We'll stop for now. When we had lots of measurements from a real car, which we used. We took it back and our plasterer worked to the measurements, and we got about, I don't know, a quarter of it, maybe a third of it done. And it was just taking so long.
Back and forth, taking in. Yeah.
Doing this and doing that. Bear in mind, we had absolutely nothing. We just had pieces of steel tack welded together.
Yeah, oh, I can imagine what it looked like.
So, during this time, Peter also introduced me to Daryl.
Right.
So Daryl became interested in it, and I was interested in Daryl because he knew about fiberglass.
Because he weren't the owner. Was he the owner, or he worked for the company?
No, he owned Plantain.
He owned.
Yeah, it was his company.
Oh, right.
And
because what, he was making plant pots, wasn't he?
yeah, they were if you've seen them seen a set of railings at the side of the road, they have a planter on the top with flowers in.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what he used to make.
Uh-huh.
And so I'd already met Daryl, and I think Peter and I, we hadn't been away then, had we, Al? It was later than that, wasn't it? Yeah, it was later. But I just got chatting with Daryl one day, and Peter was on holiday. I think he was in Tenerife. And I just said, we're not making much progress with this. It is, but it's going to take us an absolute storm and an absolute ages to make it. I said, we could do with hiring a real one and taking the mould off it. Well, I didn't say it
Quite
and meant it.
Yeah.
It was just something I said that got him clicked and me clicked at the same time.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think, right, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to tell Daryl I'm going to hire one. And
it's just what you said.
it's just what I said, and I said it to Daryl because I can't remember how we came across the Town and Country advert. Maybe Peter had shown it. Maybe I'd seen it on the back of one of the magazines.
Yeah.
I don't really know how we came across that, but we did. And on the back of the magazine was 5 cars: a Lamborghini, a Porsche, a Rolls Royce, and whatever the 5th one was, I can't remember.
I think it's a Porsche or a Lotus Esprit.
It might have been a Lotus Esprit. So I showed Daryl the
Advert.
and he said, well, how much is that going to cost? And it came to £1,600
Oh.
plus probably another 300 or 400.
And we're talking back in 1985.
We're talking back in 1985.
It's a lot of money back then.
Well, the only person I knew that had a credit card with that on it was Daryl. And they wouldn't allow you to pay by cash.
Uh-huh.
You had to pay by credit card. And you also had to get a letter from your solicitor saying that you were a nice person.
Yeah.
Honest to God, it was unbelievable. But the fact that they wouldn't take cash, it had to be a credit card. Well, there was only one person for it. So Peter then went on went on holiday, and while he was away, Daryl said, "Why don't we do it and surprise him for when he comes back?" Which is the reason why, after we picked the car up, we went round to Peter's house to say, look, here's your Jag, but look what we've turned up in.
Yeah.
So, to cut a long story short, we arranged it, we organised it. It came on a Saturday morning, but we were expecting a white one.
Yeah, like in the advert, right?
Because the one in the advert was white, it was a 5000S.
Yeah.
So that's what we were expecting. So on the Saturday morning, I think it was about 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that, I can't remember. We turns up at the hotel, which I can't remember the name of, and I don't think it's there anymore. And we were upstairs having a coffee. It was like a coffee, sir. Yeah, we'll have a coffee, so coffee, biscuits, whatever. And we're looking out over the car park at the back. And all of a sudden, comes the red one.
Here's this V12. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, here's the car.
And they drove it from London that morning.
Never.
The car actually came from Portman Lamborghini. There's a company that a guy called Dave Jolly owned. And he used to let Town and Country hire it out. Obviously, he got a percentage of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it just turned up, and Daryl and I were like nearly wetting ourselves because we knew what it was as soon as we saw it.
Yeah, it's brand new.
It was brand new, or a week old, or 2 weeks old, or whatever it might be, but it was new. And it wasn't an S, it was a quattro valve. So with that, we jumped in it. We went straight round to Peter's, which was, his house was round the corner, which was those photos I showed you before.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
That's Peter's Jag, and that's the car.
Yeah.
And then after that, we took the photographs. There wasn't much we could do because Peter wasn't there, even though his car was. We went to St. Peter's Square in Manchester.
Yeah.
And it's one of these traffic eyes things, you know what I mean? You can go on it only at certain times. And went.
Ah, right.
Anyway, we just went up the pavement, straight into the middle of the square. And this would be probably about 10:30.
Yeah.
As I
Saturday
say,
morning.
we picked it up about 9:30. Went to Peter's, between 10:15 and 10:30. And we drove it right into the middle of St. Peter's Square. Both jumped out of it. I left the driver's door open. Daryl opened the boot, the engine cover. And we just left it. Didn't leave the keys in,
Oh.
but we just left it. And we walked over to one of the companies that was there. And we just stood in the doorway as though nothing was happening. Watching all the people. Well, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, yeah.
And, well, there was 20s and 30s of people all crowded around it.
Never.
Nobody touched it. Nobody tried to get in it. Because they didn't know where we were. We could see what were going on.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just amazing, the response to it.
I tell you what, it'd be good if one of them people which was in that crowd actually came forward to say, I was there, I've seen that car when you parked it on that roundabout. Like,
Well, we were there for about half an hour. So it wasn't just a quick, because we were just amazed.
yeah. Well, it was like a spaceship, really,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Back then, you know what I mean?
So,
What was on the road back then? Morris Minors and stuff, wasn't it?
Cortinas.
And Cortinas, yeah. Nothing fancy back then.
No, it was
Well, it was out of this world, wasn't it?
like something that you'd never seen before.
Yeah.
You'd seen it in posters, but then again, you see everything in posters.
Yeah. And most people haven't even seen them posters.
No. And it was awesome. Really, really awesome.
I suppose you had to pinch yourselves to see who you really
Well,
were,
like walking back to it, having stood from afar and watched, people could tell who owned it.
Yeah.
Because I went and shut the engine cover. No. Yeah, I shut the engine cover. Daryl jumped in the passenger side. I jumped in the driver's side, shut the doors, and off we set off. And we'd arranged to do a photo shoot in Heaton Park, which is a local park to Manchester. We'd arranged to do with Daryl's wife. She was a bit of a model, if you like, or she thought she was, and she thought she was God's gift to a grateful nation and all that, you know what I mean? So we'd arranged for her to come and pose with the car. So I drove it to Heaton Park. I took somebody out in it. Oh, I met Bob. Bob met us at Heaton Park.
Yeah.
The electrician.
And he's in those photographs, isn't he?
Yeah, Bob.
Where's he, Bob? Bob, where are you? Is he in that one? No. There he is. Well, there's the back of Bob. Bob's here with the blue and white stripy t-shirt on. That's Bob.
I think I've not got that many of Bob, to be honest. I think he was a bit shy.